sound weird by saying this, but stereotypically, female gamers are way more harassed, I would say, than male gamers.
Oh yeah,
on a statistical
if guys like hear a girl, like if a girl talks on her mic, automatically everyone starts paying attention to her. They start
acting like fucking assholes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I've been in these fucking games. Call of Duty is a big one with shit like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so I see what you're saying because like there's not many female esport like professionals.
No, that's not true.
And over. How many percentage to fucking men?
Oh yeah, I mean, okay.
That's what I meant, asshole.
All right.
Okay, so percentage-wise, men have the advantage as far as way more in esports than females. So like, it's a big deal if there's a controversy, because I mean, you want to progress, female gamers. I mean, I think that's what people want to do, right? Like, you want that to be more inclusive of the female gaming community. So. Here's what happened. So obviously she was harassed. Overwatch is one of the biggest esport games in the world. So what actually happened, Fred? Everyone was pissed off. Everyone was flipping shit.
Yeah, everyone's going, something's got to change. The female community as gamers get way too much shit. There's harassment up the ass. Literally, females cannot game without problems. So a lot of times what happens is female gamers end up just not even talking on the mic, or they have to block people or mute people, and more so than what other people have to do. Now, if you're a man and you're listening to this and you think that that's not true, that's only because you're a fucking man. You haven't experienced the shit. Like that, and
maybe you don't fucking do that, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't fucking happen.
Right, and maybe you don't do that, but yeah,
you and I
totally
don't fucking do that.
No, we don't do that.
But, like, it still happens for sure.
Absolutely.
But we're aware of it. I mean, I feel like most people should be aware of it in the gaming community because, like, it's a very toxic fucking environment at times.
Right.
And I hate, that's the one negative thing I would say about video games. Like, of all stuff other than, there's like the EAs and pricing and bullshit facets of capitalism and stuff in gaming. Although I'm not saying like I'm some crazy socialist. I'm just saying that, whatever. But other than that, the worst part of gaming is the harassment that happens of abuse and verbal abuse and stuff like that.
So the response from the gaming community was good, well-intentioned, right? However, we've kind of entered this state.
What do you mean by that? That was well-intentioned.
Well, I mean, everyone was kind of like, this is bullshit. We have to do something about this. We have to do better.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like they were coming to the defense of this female gamer.
The female, right. Like she shouldn't have to do that. People were very understanding. Like some people were like, well, if she was a real pro, she wouldn't have backed out. She would have just kept playing and blah, blah, blah. I support the people who are trying to do well. Like they're not trying to beat her down for backing out because we don't know what it feels like, right? So the problem here is that we've entered a state socially where we're never allowed to kind of question anyone. So in this in this situation, M. Night Shyamalan twist here, she actually wasn't playing.
So she was cheating.
She was cheating. She wasn't even playing. She was on the mic.
So let me. Okay, so now here's where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna do a little mini Ryan's rant. You have a chance to progress females in esports, make esports more inclusive. You have a chance to be like a role model for women that want to get into esports, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, how known was this esports, gamer? Was she was like fairly well known, right?
Well,
in that community,
she was becoming well known as like she was playing like really high level players and beating them and like.
Okay, I mean, I'm sure getting a following, right? Having a following,
right?
Like the fact that. So, obviously I'm in defense of inclusion of women in gaming. And everything we just talked about still stands. But this fucking piece of shit asshole decides to actually cheat and just... Because, I mean, there's not only getting a following, there's like a monetary value to doing esports and becoming like a pro esporter, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're actually cheating and you're caught cheating, then you're actually cheating when it comes to, monetary gains, like I just said. Just in general... I guess being dubious as shit to all your followers. And I think most importantly, she's giving a bad rap to future gamers that are females that are trying to get on the scene. Am I wrong?
I totally agree with you. I think, because
that's fucking bullshit.
Like I said, everyone who came to her defense was well-intentioned. And yes, this did, in a way, like pointed out like a part of the culture that needs to be worked on. But all that it did was prove, like, one, when you question, like, you're painted as a bad guy because people question her. They said, prove that you are playing. She backed out, and everyone goes, well, she shouldn't have to prove anything. But then it turns out
and how is it determined?
Because
how is it determined
lying.
That she was lying and that she wasn't playing? How was it determined?
Okay, so I'm going to read to you from a Kotaku article, because this is what really brought it to the mass. I think, I'm sure people knew about this beforehand, but yeah. So basically, Ellie was playing on stream, and people in the Overwatch scene were speculating as to whether or not Ellie was like actually Ellie, right? So there's a streamer named Aspen, and he linked Ellie to this other player, Punisher, who is a top 500 player. So once they started speculating like her true identity, she backed out. So evidently later on, she admitted in a stream that Ellie is not Ellie. The whole situation, and I quote, "The whole situation was meant to be, in a way, a social experiment. Ellie is actually Punisher, and he told me yesterday, so there you go." So,
but so has it been confirmed then from Punisher that he is in fact pretending to be a female?
Well, Ellie,
gamer?
I guess Ellie let the cat out of the bag. So
was Ellie actually a person, or was Punisher just pretending to have a second fucking identity?
Well, Punisher, I guess what's being claimed is that Punisher is making a social experiment out of this. So he was saying, Ellie, go on chat, pretend that you're playing, and I'm going to play.
But Ellie was
for
a real
you.
person, is what I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know if her name is Ellie. Nobody knows her identity.
No, but there was a real physical,
there was a real
human
female,
person.
There was a real
Fred.
There was a real female on a microphone, but Punisher was playing for her. And
so
he's a top.
Here's what's even worse. I get it. I understand the story now. I understand the fucking scope of the story. This makes it even worse than I fucking originally thought. Here's why. Now you have a guy pretend to be a female, maybe for a social experiment. It might have been good intentions. I have no fucking clue. It could also have been very malicious intentions of trying only to get like popularity. Although, I mean, you say he's a top player anyway. But
He's
either way,
top 500 player.
Still, fucking getting popularity for a female because you think maybe you might, that might make you have more followers or something. I can see that being the case too. Either way, I mean, and maybe this fucking friend of his that was a female that went by the name of Ellie didn't realize exactly what she was doing. But I still stand by the worst part of this whole fucking thing is this somewhat sets back, female gamers getting into esports. Because it's just like there's more. It's not because it really does affect women. Women shouldn't look at it as like, oh, look at this one shitty thing. Because it was really a dude the whole fucking time that was manipulating this whole fucking thing. So that makes it a little bit even. I mean, hopefully it makes it a little bit better for female gamers trying to be esport, professionals. But it still was like that was the most important thing is that it kind of affects that because there was still negative, I guess, backlash against female gamers in this instance.
Right, and this might not have been as big a deal. If it wasn't some dude who was like so good, like if it was like me doing it, nobody would have ever even noticed.
I mean
like
I would if you were doing that, I feel like you would only be doing that to get more followers since it's a female that's really good at gaming, opposed to a typical ugly as fuck, small peckered loser like yourself doing it.
I guess.
Okay.
I guess
I'm
so.
glad that you agreed with me. Okay, I think that I don't know. Is there anything else you want to sum up with that? I've pretty much said my thoughts, I believe.
Well, really quickly, I just want to say, yes, this brings some things to light, and hopefully there can be some positive coming out of this. I don't know how.
At least people came to the defense of her originally, thinking that was a true story, because that shows that maybe we're in a change, in a cultural change, within gaming of like, hey. Yeah, you like stand up for people that are getting harassed and abused like that, especially if it's a minority group such as females in gaming.
So one last thing that I just wanted to say is that Liz Richardson, who's a managing editor at an esports site called Overwatch Score, was quoted in saying,
"What the fuck?"
She said, "People involved aside. This stunt will have lasting ramifications for any women/non-binary person trying to get into contenders. They will all now be subject to LOL, are you real harassment." That sucks.
Look at that. Okay, yeah, that does suck. But look at that. That's exactly what I was fucking saying. Look at this. The fucking head of Overwatch community editor shit, who also happens to be a female, totally saw it in that same vein. It's like, yeah, it's bullshit. And I think it fucks over women, and you're right, non-binary is what I should have said as well. I'm horrible when it comes to PC shit. You should fucking know that if you know me. But yes, everybody being inclusive in gaming, I think it hurts the whole fucking culture. But hopefully we're still on the right path to more inclusiveness in gaming. Also, by the way, speaking of inclusion, when we were at PAX, it's been brought to my attention that there is a panel on autism in gaming and disabilities in gaming, which I would love to attend. And I feel like that would be a great topic for us to talk about and discuss further.
Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft, has always done that or over the last couple of years. So not always. Over the last couple of years has been trying to really, hey, asshole with the burping, let me fucking finish.
I'm sorry.
They have been pushing that, the last couple of years with those different controllers that they make for disabled gamers. So
and also
anyways,
like hearing impaired, visual impaired,
right.
like that.
So yeah, we'll I want to try to make that panel if we can, and then we'll talk about it. We'll take fucking
me too. I think that would be great.
Eat during the fucking cast,
dude. Just embrace this shit.
Okay, can we move on to our next fucking topic, please?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck you, Ellie, and fuck you. What was the dude's name?
Punisher.
Fucking assholes.
All right, you want to talk about Black Mirror? You got me to watch this.
I'll fucking handle it. Yeah,
I wasn't
did.
even going to watch this.
So what this was, if you've been living under a fucking rock, or the media has told you more about Bird Box than fucking the Black Mirror movie,
yeah,
I recommend both, but I actually really, really like the Black Mirror Bandersnatch film. They called it an event, because what it is, it's a choose-your-own-adventure film where multiple times, probably every, you say like 5 to 10 minutes, there's some sort of choice to make. There's only two choices. Yeah. And you are constantly choosing between one or the other choice, and there's different paths that it takes. So I think there's like 5 main different endings and a couple of small variations throughout those endings. So it was very, very well done. I think Black Mirror was the only franchise that could really do this proper, at least at the moment I can think of. So I don't want this to become like a gimmick going forward, but I think it was a really well done experiment for Netflix. I think it's been pretty well received for the most part. Some critics are fucking cocksuckers, but it's whatever. What do you think, Fred? What did you think about it whenever you watched it?
I liked it. It was short. So
you say that. I spent like 2.5 hours watching it, going to the different endings and stuff.
Okay, well, yeah. If you don't go back and so after the
why do you always try to do the Macho Man? Oh yeah, fucking thing. Or are you being the Kool-Aid Man, or are you being Macho Man, Randy Savage?
I don't know. I have no answers. So after the quote-unquote credits roll, you have an opportunity to just keep making the other decisions that you hadn't originally made to see what else could have happened. I didn't exactly do that. I didn't even realize that was happening. I just kept watching, and I didn't really understand what was happening. Then eventually I said, like, oh, it's like it kind of automatically plays all the other options. So I probably watched like a good 5 of them before I was like, "Oh, that's what's happening," because I'm not very smart.
I know that, but it's not bad because at least it does let you go back and see. So that way you don't have to watch the whole fucking thing again, and it'll even show you the decisions you made up and leading up to that new decision that you're gonna have to make.
Right. So anyway, also it should probably be known this is game related because the actual plot is based on a guy who's making a video game based on a Choose Your Adventure book. And then there's a whole bunch of lore within that, like in the real world and within the book and stuff. So
and within the game. And the thing is, it takes place in the 80s, like 80s gaming. So it is related. That's why we were talking about it. But also the experience in and of itself is essentially like a game, like a game you're watching. Because, you are playing along because you are interacting. And if that's what video games essentially kind of are, you are interacting with this medium, this entertainment, to make decisions that react upon those, I guess, decisions that you have made.
Sure. This to me is no different than like a Telltale game.
Yeah, a Telltale game.
I actually enjoyed this more than any Telltale game.
It's like a way slower paced, and this is a way dumbed down version too. I mean, it's a choose your own adventure is what it is. But remember Dragon's Lair?
Yeah.
stuff kind of like that. I mean, that was way different because it's more intensive, and I'm actually it's a horrible analogy. Fucking, I'm an idiot.
I
we
mean,
get it.
Dragon's Lair is similar. It's just in Dragon's Lair, you don't really know